Chapter 1: The Letter. Anna was 25 years old and lived in a busy city. She worked in an office, answered phone calls, and stared at computer screens all day. Her life was ordinary. Every day looked the same. She often felt tired, as if something important was missing from her life. One rainy evening, as she returned home from work, she found a small envelope in her mailbox. There was no stamp, no return address. Only her name written in careful handwriting, Anna Williams. Curious, she opened it. The letter inside was short. It read, "If you want to know the truth about your grandmother's past, come to Graywood Village. The answers are waiting for you." Anna froze. Her grandmother Evelyn had died when Anna was just a child. Her family rarely spoke about her. Anna remembered only fragments: the smell of fresh bread, soft hands, a gentle smile. What secret could her grandmother possibly have left behind? That night, Anna could not sleep. She stared at the letter again and again. Something inside her told her she needed to go. She packed a small bag, took a few days off work, and prepared for a journey that would change her life forever. Chapter 2: The Journey. The next morning, Anna left the city before sunrise. The train station was almost empty, and the cool air smelled of rain and metal. She carried only a small backpack, the mysterious letter safely tucked inside. As the train began to move, she pressed her forehead against the window, watching the tall buildings fade into fields and hills. Hours passed. The landscape grew wilder. Forests stretched endlessly and mountains appeared in the distance. Anna had never traveled this far alone. She felt nervous, but also strangely excited. Something inside told her she was going the right way. At noon, the train stopped at a small rural station. Only a few people got off. Anna looked around an old wooden bench, a rusty clock, a sign that read, "Welcome to Graywood Village." Her heart skipped a beat. She had arrived. She started walking toward the village. The road was quiet, lined with tall pine trees. Birds sang and the air was fresh, nothing like the crowded city she came from. After an hour, Anna saw the first houses, stone cottages with smoke rising from chimneys. The villagers stared at her with curious eyes. They did not smile, but they did not seem unfriendly either. An old woman carrying a basket of apples stopped and asked softly, "Are you Evelyn's granddaughter?" Anna froze. She had never told anyone here her name. Surprised, she nodded slowly. The old woman's expression softened. "Then you must be careful. Not everyone in this place will welcome you. Your grandmother's story is still alive, and not all memories are kind." Before Anna could ask more, the woman walked away, disappearing into a narrow street. Confused, Anna continued deeper into the village. She felt both watched and guided, as if invisible threads were pulling her forward. Finally, she reached a small inn at the center of the village. Its sign read, "The Graywood Inn." Inside, the air was warm, filled with the smell of bread and wood smoke. The innkeeper, a tall man with gray hair, looked at her with sharp eyes. "You must be here for something," he said without introduction. Anna swallowed. I'm here to learn about my grandmother Evelyn." The man's face changed. He lowered his voice. "Then your journey is only beginning. You should meet someone, an old man who knows more than anyone else. His name is Samuel. He lives at the edge of the forest." Anna's heart pounded. Another step into the unknown. She thanked the innkeeper and took a deep breath. The man's face changed. Chapter 3: The Stranger. The next morning, Anna left the inn with a mixture of fear and determination. The sky was gray, and the mist clung to the tops of the pine trees. She followed a narrow path that curved toward the forest, carrying only a notebook and the mysterious letter in her pocket. After nearly an hour of walking, she saw a small wooden cabin hidden among tall trees. Smoke rose from its chimney. The place looked old but well cared for. Anna hesitated before knocking on the door. The door creaked open slowly, and a tall, thin man with a white beard appeared. His eyes were sharp, as if they could see through her. "Who are you?" he asked, his voice rough. "I'm Anna Williams," she replied nervously. "The innkeeper told me you might know about my grandmother, Evelyn." The old man's expression softened slightly, though his eyes remained watchful. "Yes, Evelyn," he said slowly. "I knew her well. She was not just another villager. She carried secrets that some people wanted to bury." Anna felt her heart race. What kind of secrets? Samuel, the old man, gestured for her to come inside. The cabin smelled of herbs and old wood. Books were stacked everywhere and maps covered the walls. Anna sat down, clutching her notebook. "Your grandmother was a storyteller," Samuel said, "but her stories were more than tales. They carried truth about this village, about things hidden for generations. Some people loved her for it, others feared her." Anna listened closely. "Why fear her?" Samuel leaned forward. "Because stories can reveal what people want to forget. Evelyn discovered something dangerous. That's why she left, and why the village never forgave her." Anna's chest tightened. What did she discover? The old man paused as if weighing his words. Finally, he pointed to a wooden box on the shelf. "Inside this box is the first step. It belonged to Evelyn. I have kept it safe for years, waiting for the day her blood would return." Anna's hands trembled as she opened the box. Inside lay an old leather-bound diary. The cover was cracked, the pages yellowed with time. On the first page in neat handwriting were the words, "To my granddaughter if she ever seeks the truth." Tears filled Anna's eyes. She whispered, she knew I would come." Samuel nodded slowly. "This is your inheritance, but be careful. Once you begin reading, there is no turning back. The truth will not only change how you see your grandmother, it will change how you see yourself." Anna held the diary tightly against her chest. Fear mixed with determination. The path ahead was darker than she had imagined, but she knew she could not stop now. Her grandmother's voice, once lost in memory, was waiting to be heard again. Chapter 4. The Hidden Diary. Anna sat at the wooden table in Samuel's cabin, the old diary pressed tightly against her hands. The leather cover was worn smooth, the edges cracked with age. She hesitated, afraid of what she might find inside, but her grandmother's words, "To my granddaughter if she ever seeks the truth," pulled her forward. She opened the diary. The first pages were filled with neat handwriting. Evelyn's voice seemed to speak across time. "If you are reading this, then I am gone, but my story must live on. There are things this village has hidden for too long, secrets buried in silence, shadows that still walk among us. And you, my blood, are the one who must uncover them." Anna's breath caught. She flipped through the pages quickly. The diary was not just filled with memories, it contained maps, strange symbols, and notes about people Anna had never heard of. Names were written again and again: the Greywood Council, the Hollow Tree, the Keeper of Keys. "What does this mean?" Anna whispered. Samuel leaned closer. His eyes glimmered with both warning and pride. "It means Evelyn trusted you." She wrote down what she discovered, but she could not finish the journey herself. The council. They were the ones who silenced her. Anna turned another page. She stopped at a sketch of a tree tall and twisted its roots, spreading like claws. Underneath, Evelyn had written, "The truth lies beneath the hollow tree." A chill ran through Anna. The hollow tree. Samuel nodded slowly. "It is real. An ancient tree at the heart of the forest. The villagers avoid it, call it cursed. But your grandmother believed it was a gateway, a door to the past." Anna touched the drawing with her fingers. She could almost feel the weight of her grandmother's pen strokes. "She wanted me to go there." "Yes," Samuel said firmly. "But beware. The council will not want you near it. They fear what might be revealed. If you go, you must be prepared for resistance." Anna closed the diary carefully, her hands trembling. She had come searching for her grandmother's past, and now she was holding it in her own hands. The journey was no longer just about answers, it was about choices, danger, and destiny. That night, Anna stayed in the cabin. The forest outside whispered in the wind, and the diary rested on the table beside her. She stared at it in the candlelight, unable to sleep. Finally, she whispered to herself, "I will find the hollow tree." The decision was made. Somewhere in the dark forest, waiting beneath twisted roots, the truth of Evelyn's life and the secret of Greywood Village was calling her. Chapter 5. The Whispering Forest. The next morning, Anna and Samuel packed their bags and prepared to leave the village. The diary's words echoed in Anna's mind. "Seek the roots where shadows whisper and the truth shall awaken." Samuel led her to the edge of a vast forest. The trees stood tall and twisted their branches, forming dark arches above the narrow path. The forest seemed alive, breathing with an ancient rhythm. A soft wind carried faint whispers like voices hidden in the leaves. "Do you hear that?" Anna asked, her voice trembling. Samuel nodded. "This is the whispering forest. Few dare to enter. The voices you hear are not only the wind, they are memories trapped here long ago." As they walked deeper, the air grew colder. Shafts of sunlight broke through the dense canopy, illuminating patches of moss-covered stones. Strange markings appeared on the trunk symbols that matched the drawings in the diary. Anna paused, tracing one with her fingertips. They're guiding us." Suddenly the whispers grew louder. Anna could almost make out words. They called her name, soft but urgent. "Anna! Anna!" Her heart pounded. "Do not follow the voices blindly," Samuel warned. "They test your will. They will lead you astray if you give in to fear." But then, from deeper in the woods, Anna saw a faint glow. A shape shimmered between the trees, a figure almost human bathed in silver light. She stepped forward, unable to resist. "Samuel, do you see it?" Samuel squinted, his face pale. "That is no ordinary spirit. Be careful, Anna. The forest is showing you what it wants you to see." The figure raised its hand, beckoning her closer, and in the distance the whispers blended into one voice, haunting and clear. "Find the tree of truth, or lose everything you seek." Anna gripped the diary tightly. Her journey had just become far more dangerous. Chapter 6. The Voice of the Forest. Anna followed Samuel deeper into the forest. The air was heavy and cool, filled with the sound of leaves whispering in the wind. She held the old book tightly against her chest, her heart beating fast. Suddenly a voice echoed through the trees. It was soft, almost like a song. "Anna," it called. She froze. The voice knew her name. Samuel raised his lantern, the warm light pushing away the shadows. "Do not answer," he whispered. "The forest tests you. It wants to see your fear." But Anna could not stop listening. The voice was calm, gentle, and strangely familiar. It reminded her of her mother's lullabies sung when she was a child. "Come closer," the voice said. "I have been waiting for you." Anna stepped forward without thinking. The trees seemed to move, opening a narrow path that glowed faintly. Samuel grabbed her arm. "Careful, not every path leads to safety. Some lead to darkness." Anna looked at him, then back at the glowing path. Her mind was torn between fear and curiosity. Finally she spoke softly. "If the forest knows my name, maybe it also knows my destiny." With cautious steps, Anna followed the path. The voice grew louder, surrounding her like a song. The deeper she went, the brighter the forest became, until she stood before a giant tree, its trunk wider than a house. The voice came again, this time from inside the tree. "Open the book, Anna. The answers are within." Her hands trembled as she lifted the cover of the ancient book. The pages glowed with silver light, and words began to appear on their own. Samuel gasped. This is older than I thought." The forest went silent. Even the wind stopped. All that remained was the shining book in Anna's hands, and the voice whispering, "You are the chosen one." Chapter 7. The Hidden Past. Anna's hands trembled as she held the old book. The glowing runes on the giant tree seemed to respond, pulsing softly as if alive. Samuel stood a few steps behind his lantern, flickering nervously. She opened the book. The pages shifted on their own, as though the forest itself wanted her to see. Ink bled across the parchment, forming images of faces that looked like hers. "Your ancestors," Samuel whispered. His voice was heavy, almost fearful. The book showed a story. Long ago, her family had been chosen as the guardians of the forest. They were trusted to protect its magic, to keep balance between nature and people. But something went wrong. One of them betrayed the oath. Anna watched as the images revealed fire axes and the collapse of an ancient pact. Her ancestor had turned against the forest, stealing its secrets for power. Because of this, the whispers had become cries echoing through the generations. Her chest tightened. Was this why the forest had called her to finish what was broken? The tree groaned, its voice deep and ancient. You carry their blood, but will you carry their burden or undo their sins? Samuel put a hand on her shoulder. His eyes were grave. The forest does not forget Anna, and it does not forgive easily. But perhaps it hopes. The book grew heavier in her hands. The pages glowed brighter, forcing her to face the truth. She was not just a visitor here. She was part of this story from the very beginning. And now the forest demanded an answer. Chapter 8. The First Trial. The air grew heavy as Anna clutched the glowing book. The forest around her darkened, though the lantern Samuel carried still burned. A low hum spread through the ground, and the runes on the tree flared brighter, casting long, eerie shadows. Suddenly the mist thickened and formed shapes, figures that moved. Anna's breath caught as she saw them take form. It was her mother, her father, but their faces were twisted, accusing. "You will fail us," one hissed. "You are weak, just like the traitor," another whispered. Anna shook her head. No, this isn't real." But the whispers cut deeper. The forest was showing her greatest fear, the fear of being unworthy. Samuel's voice called faintly from behind, but it sounded distant, muffled, as though the mist itself swallowed his words. The book in her hands grew scorching hot, and she almost dropped it. Its pages flipped violently, stopping at a symbol she had never seen before. The runes from the tree mirrored it, glowing in unison. "The trial has begun," the forest seemed to say. The ground beneath her feet shifted, becoming a long, narrow path of roots. Darkness yawned on either side, and within it, more visions rose, fire consuming her home, friends turning away from her, Samuel crumbling into dust. Her chest tightened, her knees shook, but deep inside something stirred, a faint ember of defiance. Anna gripped the book tighter. "This forest may know my fears," she whispered, her voice trembling, "but it doesn't know my strength." The visions screamed and lunged toward her, but the path ahead glowed faintly, guiding her forward. Step by step she moved into the trial, knowing this was only the beginning. Chapter 9. The Path of Shadows. The path of roots narrowed until Anna could barely place one foot in front of the other. Mist pressed in from both sides, curling and whispering like a living thing. Every step forward felt heavier, as though unseen hands tried to drag her back. Then ahead the mist parted. Anna froze. Standing in the middle of the path was herself. The figure looked identical. Same brown hair, same weary eyes, same trembling hands clutching a shadowy reflection of the glowing book. But her double's expression was colder, sharper, filled with cruel confidence. "So the shadow," Anna sneered, "you think you are worthy of this legacy, you who always doubted, who always hesitated." Anna's throat went dry. "I am not you." The shadow laughed, the sound echoing unnaturally. "Oh, but you are. I am every moment you wanted to quit, every lie you told yourself, every weakness you tried to bury. And I will not let you pass." The glowing book in Anna's hands throbbed with warmth, while the shadow's version bled black smoke into the mist. Suddenly the path stretched into a circle, and the runes from the tree appeared around them, pulsing like a heartbeat. Anna realized the truth. This was her trial. Not against monsters, not against the forest, but against herself. Her shadow lunged the blackened book, striking like a blade. Anna blocked with her own sparks of golden light scattering. The force rattled her arms. Fear surged through her, but beneath it was something else, resolve. "You may be my fear," Anna said, her voice steadying, "but you don't define me." The shadow snarled and attacked again. Visions flashing around them, failures, betrayals, every shameful memory Anna carried. She stumbled, nearly consumed by the storm of doubt. But then, deep inside, she remembered Samuel's words. "The forest tests the truth in you. Do not run from it." Anna drew a breath. She stopped resisting. She let the fear wash over her, felt it, accepted it, then pushed forward. Her book blazed brighter than ever, releasing a wave of golden light that struck the shadow squarely. The dark version screamed its form, unraveling into smoke, until only Anna stood alone on the glowing path. Her chest heaved. She felt both exhausted and strangely lighter, as though a great weight had been lifted. From the mist, Samuel's lantern glow reappeared. His voice, clear this time, called out, You've taken your first true step, child. But the forest is not finished with you. Anna gripped the book, its warmth steady in her hands. She was ready to walk further into the shadows. Chapter 10. The River of Memory. The mist thinned, and Anna found herself standing before a vast river. Its waters shimmered strangely, not with the reflection of the forest, but with images, memories. At first the surface rippled with simple things, her childhood laughter the first time she touched the roots of the ancient tree, moments of warmth with her mother. But as Anna stepped closer, the river shifted. The images darkened. She saw herself running away from problems, turning her back when friends needed her, nights filled with silent regret. Every mistake she tried to bury surged forward, painted across the flowing water. Her chest tightened. The river was wide, and no bridge or stones marked a way across. On the opposite bank, a faint golden glow flickered her path forward. Samuel's voice echoed faintly, carried by the wind. To cross you must carry truth, not denial. Anna crouched at the river's edge. The water whispered with voices, her own voice, from different times in her life. Some wept, some accused, some begged. She closed her eyes, overwhelmed. I can't, she whispered. Not all of this. But then the book in her arms pulsed with warmth. The runes on its cover shifted, glowing softly, and she understood the river did not ask her to erase the memories. It asked her to face them. Anna pressed the book to her chest and stepped into the water. The cold hit her instantly, searing through skin and bone. Visions rose around her, towering illusions of herself, shouting, lying, hiding, running. Each one tried to drag her under, whispering, "You are weak, you are nothing, you will fail." Anna staggered, water up to her waist, heart pounding. She wanted to scream, to turn back, but instead she lifted the book high, its golden glow cutting through the storm of voices. "Yes," she said through trembling lips, "I have failed, I have feared, I have run. But those memories, they are mine, and they do not end me." The illusions froze. Slowly they dissolved into droplets of light sinking into the river. The waters calmed. Anna took one more step, and suddenly the current bore her forward, carrying her weightlessly across. When she reached the other side, she collapsed on the bank, gasping. The book pulsed gently in her hands as though proud. From the shadows, Samuel's lantern flickered into view once more. His face was solemn, but there was a trace of warmth in his eyes. "You are learning," he said softly, "but the forest has yet to show you its deepest truth." Anna rose, dripping, exhausted but unbroken. She followed him once more into the darkness where the next trial waited. Chapter 11. The Hall of Echoes. The path narrowed until Anna and Samuel entered a cavern unlike any she had seen before. The walls shimmered as if carved from crystal, yet no torch lit the way. Instead, the air itself hummed with sound, whispers, shouts, laughter, sobs, all blending into a storm of voices. Anna froze. The voices weren't strangers. They were hers. Too weak. "You'll never change. You're just running again. Why even try?" Her heart pounded. The echoes ricocheted through the hall, bouncing endlessly. Every cruel word she had spoken to herself, every doubt, every failure alive, amplified, inescapable. Anna pressed her palms over her ears, but the voices grew louder, multiplying until they shook the ground. The crystal walls vibrated, reflecting her face, dozens of versions of herself, each one twisted with fear, anger, or despair. Samuel's lantern flickered. He did not step forward this time. "This is the Hall of Echoes," he said. "Here the voice that has chained you the longest will rise. Only you can silence it." The air thickened. The crystal walls shifted, forming a tall, dark silhouette. It stepped forward, its body made of shadow, but its face her own. The shadow Anna sneered. "You think a book makes you stronger. You think admitting failure makes you free. You're nothing without your pain. You are me." Anna's breath caught. Her knees trembled, but she gripped the glowing book tighter. "I am not you," she whispered. The shadow's laugh shook the cavern. "Without me, you would crumble. I kept you alive when no one else would. I am every harsh word that kept you from believing. Without me, you have nothing." The echoes rose, the walls screaming with 1,000 versions of the same thought. Nothing, nothing, nothing. Tears burned Anna's eyes. For so long that voice had guided her, keeping her from hoping too high, from trusting too much. It had convinced her it was protection when it was really a cage. Her hands shook as she opened the book. The golden runes shifted, forming words she somehow understood. Speak the truth of who you are. Anna looked up at the shadow. Her voice was weak at first, but it grew with every word. I am not nothing. I am flawed. I am afraid. But I am still here. The walls trembled, the echoes wavering. I am more than the mistakes I've made, more than the pain I've carried. I am not your prisoner anymore. The book blazed with light, filling the cavern. The shadow screamed as cracks splintered across its body until it shattered into shards of smoke that vanished into the air. Silence fell. The echoes dissolved. The crystal walls no longer showed twisted faces, but glowed with a calm, steady light. For the first time, Anna heard only her own heartbeat, and it was steady strong. Samuel stepped closer, his lantern now dim. He studied her quietly, then nodded. You have claimed your voice. The forest will no longer speak against you. From here, the truth grows clearer, but so does the danger. Anna wiped her tears, chest heavy but lighter than before. She felt raw, but alive. For the first time, she was not afraid of the silence. She lifted the book, and the path ahead opened deeper into the forest's heart, where her greatest trial still waited. Chapter 12. The Silent Valley. Anna stumbled out of the cavern, her breath ragged, her body trembling from the battle within the Hall of Echoes. For a moment the forest felt almost kind again, the air fresh, the sky tinged with morning light. But the book in her arms pulsed, as if reminding her, the trials are not over. The path curved downward, and soon she stood at the edge of a vast valley. It was unnaturally still. No birdsong, no rustling of leaves, only silence so deep it pressed against her chest. The trees below were twisted into strange shapes, their branches like reaching hands. Samuel appeared behind her, his lantern dim. The silent valley, he whispered. Here words mean nothing. The valley strips sound away. You cannot speak your truth. You must carry it without a voice. Anna descended her boots, crunching against soil that gave no echo. She tried to speak, to say her name, her story, but no sound came. Panic rose in her chest. Without her voice, how could she claim her identity? The shadows in the valley shifted, forming shapes of people she once knew, her mother scolding her, her father turning away, her childhood self crying in silence. Their mouths moved, but no sound came. The silence was suffocating, cruel. Then she remembered the book. Slowly, she opened it. The runes glowed and words appeared, not written by anyone else, but by her own hand, as though the pages had been waiting for her. I am Anna. I am not your silence. Tears stung her eyes. She traced the glowing words with her finger, and suddenly the illusions faltered. The twisted trees straightened, the valley lightened. She could not hear her own voice, but she felt it stronger than ever. At the far end of the valley, a stone arch rose from the ground, carved with symbols that shone when her book glowed. She passed beneath it, the silence lifting like a heavy curtain. For the first time in what felt like years, Anna's voice returned, trembling but steady. My story is mine, and the valley, once suffocating, finally let her go.